200 years ago, an American patented an idea that would remake the entire planet. Almost nobody remembers his name. But you have felt his invention every single day. It powered our cars, our trucks, our cities, and even our wars. It gave millions of people something they had never had before. Freedom to go anywhere. This is the story of the internal combustion engine, 200 years of rise. And now, its fall. Its whole life fits on a single timeline. Let's walk through it. Our story begins in 1826. An American inventor named Samuel Morey received a patent for a gas and vapor engine. This year, 2026, marks exactly 200 years since that patent. Morey's machine was clumsy and unreliable. It never really worked as a vehicle, but the core idea was revolutionary. Burn fuel inside the engine itself. For centuries, machines were powered by steam, boiled slowly outside the engine. Morey's idea was to put the fire inside. Small explosions, again and again. Each tiny explosion would push a piston, and that push would turn a wheel. It was decades ahead of its time. The world was not ready yet. For 30 years, the idea mostly sat still. Then, in 1860, a Belgian named Lenore changed that. Lenore built the first internal combustion engine that was actually produced in numbers. It ran on gas, and it was noisy, weak, and thirsty. But for the first time, people could buy one and put it to work. The engine had taken its first real breath. Still, it was far too weak to move a heavy vehicle very far. The real breakthrough came in 1876. A German engineer, Nikolaus Otto, built something clever. He compressed the fuel and air tightly before setting it alight. Squeezing the mixture first made the explosion far more powerful. He called it four-stroke cycle. Intake, compression, power, exhaust. If you drive a gas car today, this is still exactly how your engine works. A design from 1876, still under the hood, 150 years later. Now the engine was strong enough. It just needed something to carry. That final step came in 1886. Another German, Carl Benz, bolted a small four-stroke engine to a light carriage. He patented it. And the world's first true automobile was born. No horses. No rails. Just an engine, wheels, and a driver. At first, cars were toys for the rich. Loud, fragile, and wildly expensive. Most people still traveled by horse, on foot, or by train. The engine had proven itself. But it had not yet reached the common person. That would change in America, with one man and one idea. Henry Ford believed a car should be affordable to the people who built it. In 1913, he perfected the moving assembly line. Building a car dropped from 12 hours to about 90 minutes. Prices collapsed, and suddenly ordinary families could own a car. The engine had escaped the mansion. Now it belonged to everyone. Roads spread. Towns grew. Whole cities were reshaped around the automobile. The gas station became as common as the church and the school. The world was rebuilding itself around the internal combustion engine. And it was not just cars. The same engine went into trucks that hauled goods across entire continents. It went into tractors, and a handful of farmers could suddenly feed millions. It powered bulldozers, generators, and the machines that built the modern world. It drove boats, pumps, and factories far from any city. Whatever needed to move, or to be built, the engine was there. Entire economies now ran on the rhythm of tiny explosions. And all of it drank the same fuel. Oil became the most valuable liquid on earth. Nations rose, and fought, over who controlled it. In just a few decades, one machine had rewired human life itself. Never before had a single invention spread so far, so fast. And it was only getting started. And then came its golden age. By the 1950s and 60s, engines grew huge and powerful. In America, the V8 became a symbol of freedom and status. Car makers fought a horsepower war, each engine bigger than the last. The muscle car roared onto the streets. Loud, fast, and proud. For a while, gas was cheap and the sky seemed limitless. The engine was not just a machine anymore. It was culture. It was in our movies, our music, and our dreams of the open road. 200 years of history, and this was the peak. But every peak hides the beginning of a fall. By the 1960s, a problem was rising over the cities. Smog. A thick haze of exhaust hanging in the air. In places like Los Angeles, the sky turned brown. Every engine, multiplied by millions, was choking the air people breathe. The very machine that gave freedom was now poisoning the cities it built. Governments decided they had to act. In 1970, America passed the Clean Air Act. It demanded that exhaust be cut by 90% in just a few years. To meet it, carmakers added a new part: the catalytic converter. From 1975, nearly every new car had to clean its own exhaust. The engine could no longer roar freely. It had to answer for its smoke. Then came another blow, in 1973. An oil crisis sent fuel prices soaring almost overnight. Suddenly, those thirsty giant engines looked foolish. Drivers wanted small, efficient cars, not roaring V8s. The age of raw power was quietly ending. For decades, engines got cleaner, smaller, and smarter. Fuel injection and computers squeezed out every drop of efficiency. The engine survived. But it was fighting its own reputation now. And in the background, a much older idea was waking up: the electric motor. Silent, clean, and simple. Electric cars had actually existed since the very beginning. But a century ago, the gas engine had beaten them easily. Now, with better batteries, the electric car came roaring back. No pistons. No explosions. No exhaust at all. Everything the gas engine did with fire, the motor did with electricity. And this time, the world was ready to listen. China poured everything into electric cars, and became the largest car market on Earth. What took the gas engine a century, the electric car is doing in just years. Governments that once cleaned the engine now moved to end it. Norway decided that from 2025, new cars must be zero emission. The European Union set a deadline. No new gas cars sold after 2035, and the market moved even faster than the laws. In late 2025, electric cars outsold gasoline cars across Europe for the first time. Even in Germany, the birthplace of the automobile, the electric car became king. The machine that had ruled the road for a century was being retired. 200 years after Samuel Morey's patent, its reign is ending. Soon, the roar of an engine will be a rare and precious sound. Children may grow up never hearing one start. The internal combustion engine will not vanish overnight. Classics will be treasured, driven on weekends, kept alive by enthusiasts. But as an everyday king of the road, its time is nearly over. It is worth remembering what this engine actually did. It took an idea from 1826 and used it to move the world. It built cities, won wars, and gave ordinary people the freedom to roam. It gave us speed, sound, and 2 centuries of unforgettable machines. And like every great empire, it rose, it ruled, and now it falls. That is the story Gasoline Ghosts was made to tell. The rise, and the fall, of the machines that shaped our world. The engine that ran the world for 200 years. Thanks for watching. If you felt that story, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.